The peculiar thing about it is that it's moving along a trajectory that is very special.
NASA points its cameras to the heavens and millions watch, expecting a celestial show from Comet ATLAS. But what they got was a cosmic mystery. In the very last second before the live feed was mysteriously cut, a single frame showed something impossible. It wasn't a comet fragment or space junk. It was something sharp, straight and clean, reflecting sunlight like polished metal.
And one wonders whether this trajectory was designed by some extraterrestrial intelligence.
An anomaly so bizarre, edge detection algorithms flagged it instantly. The feed went dark and the questions began. This wasn't just a glitch, it was a glimpse of something that shouldn't be there, hiding in the darkness of space. 37 pixels of impossible. You see, everyone was looking for a miracle in the sky. It was early 2020 and Comet ATLAS was supposed to be the show of a lifetime. Astronomers were buzzing and people all over the world were getting their telescopes ready. This thing was getting brighter, faster than anyone predicted. Some said it could get so bright you could see it during the day, a true comet of a generation. NASA, of course, had its powerful eyes pointed right at it, streaming the whole thing for the world to see, and then it happened. Not the brilliant flash everyone was hoping for, but something else entirely. Something that, for a few frantic moments, nobody could explain. The feed was live, showing the ghostly greenish glow of the comet's coma, a massive cloud of gas and dust bigger than the planet Jupiter. It was beautiful, a serene scene playing out millions of miles from Earth. But then, in the lower left corner of the view, a glint of light appeared. And here's the kicker. It wasn't a blurry dot or a random streak. It was a line. A razor-straight, impossibly thin glint of light that sliced across the frame. The thing nobody tells you is that in space, nature almost never makes straight lines. Everything is governed by gravity, resulting in curves, clumps, and chaotic clouds. Yet, there it was. Computer algorithms that were running analysis on the feed in real time immediately flagged it. They called it an edge geometric, sharp and totally at odds with the soft, natural shapes all around it. The line segment measured just about 37 pixels from one end to the other, but its implications were massive. It was a whisper of intelligence in a universe that's supposed to be empty. The reflection was just too clean. It wasn't scattering light like a dusty piece of rock or an ice fragment. The data showed it was reflecting sunlight at an angle that just didn't match any known debris, cosmic ray artifact, or camera glitch. It looked polished. Many people who saw the leaked frame went crazy about it, saying it looked like the glint you'd get from machined metal. A surface crafted by design, and then just as quickly as it appeared, the feed was gone. Black screen. Broadcast concluded. No warning, no explanation. One moment we were looking at a potential cosmic civilization, and the next, NASA had pulled the plug. The silence was deafening. The questions started swirling online almost immediately. What was that object? Why would they shut down the broadcast at the most critical moment in modern astronomy? It was the final frame, the last piece of evidence before a wall of secrecy went up. It revealed a stunning anomaly, and then it was gone. What they tried to hide would only fuel the fire of what was coming next. Death of a wanderer. To understand why that final frame was so explosive, you have to understand what Comet ATLAS was supposed to be. But not all things are what they seem. This wasn't just any chunk of ice and rock. Discovered back in December of 2019 by the asteroid Terrestrial-impact Last Alert System, that's ATLAS for short, this comet was special. It was on a journey that takes nearly 6,000 years to complete, coming all the way from the Oort cloud, a mysterious shell of icy objects at the farthest edge of our solar system. And it was heading straight for the sun. The wow factor here is the sheer speed and scale we're talking about. Comet ATLAS was hurtling through space at over 100,000 miles per hour. As it got closer to the sun, the heat began to work on it, vaporizing its icy core and releasing a massive amount of gas and dust. This is what creates the comet's coma and its spectacular tails. In the beginning, its brightening was off the charts. Every week, it was getting dramatically brighter, far exceeding the initial predictions. If it kept this up, it would have been a historic event, a glowing beacon in the night sky visible to the naked eye. People were getting excited. This was supposed to be a once-in-a-generation celestial event, a welcome distraction for everyone. But the universe is a wild and unpredictable place. The thing nobody tells you about these comets is that they are incredibly fragile. They are essentially giant, dirty snowballs that have been in a deep freeze for billions of years. As they get their first real taste of the sun's intense heat, they can be violent and unstable. And that's exactly what happened to Atlas. Just as it was reaching the peak of its hype, astronomers noticed a change. The comet's core, once a single, bright point of light, began to look fuzzy and elongated. The brightening stalled. Then in early April, the Hubble Space Telescope delivered the heartbreaking news. Atlas was falling apart. The mighty comet, which was once thought to have a solid nucleus over 10 miles wide, had disintegrated into a couple dozen smaller, faint pieces. The great celestial show was canceled. The comet of a generation had crumbled into dust before it even got to the main event. The official reason was thermal stress. The sun simply cooked it until it broke. A sad but normal end for many comets. But the timing was just too perfect, wasn't it? The disintegration happened right around the same time that the strange metallic-looking object was spotted, right before NASA cut the feed. Scenarios that defy science. The official story is neat and tidy. The comet broke up and the glint was a satellite. But let's be honest, that explanation feels incomplete. It doesn't account for the strangeness of it all. So what if we're looking at this all wrong? What if the disintegration of Comet ATLAS wasn't an accident, but an event? Here's where the story takes a turn into the truly bizarre, into theories that science won't touch. One of the most compelling ideas is that the object was a cosmic harvester. The thing nobody tells you is that comets are basically flying treasure chests. They are packed with water ice, carbon dioxide, and organic molecules, the literal building blocks of life. For a civilization capable of interstellar travel, a comet isn't just a pretty light in the sky, it's a gas station, a water reservoir, and a supply depot all in one. The theory suggests this unknown object was a robotic drone, a mining ship that moved into position to extract these precious resources. And what better way to do that than to break the comet apart first, making the raw materials easier to collect? The sudden breakup wasn't a natural death, it was a demolition. Then there's the even more chilling possibility. The object was part of a planetary defense system. Many people are crazy about this idea. Think about it. Our solar system has been around for over 4 billion years. What if an ancient intelligence, maybe one that originated right here, created an automated system to protect its home world from cosmic threats? A silent, ever-watchful guardian. Comet ATLAS was big, and while it wasn't on a collision course with Earth, a slight nudge from Jupiter's gravity could have changed that. Perhaps this object wasn't attacking the comet, but neutralizing it, a preemptive strike from a weapon that has been silently orbiting our sun for millions of years. The glint we saw wasn't a ship, it was the glint of a cosmic rifle taking aim. But what if it's not about resources or defense? What if it's about creation? An even wilder theory suggests the object was a seeder. It didn't just break the comet apart, it intentionally shattered it and perhaps even altered the fragments, sending them on new trajectories. Could these pieces be aimed at barren worlds like Mars or Venus, part of a galactic terraforming project that has been going on for eons? We see a dying comet, but maybe an advanced intelligence sees a construction site using the raw materials of Atlas to build a new world, one chunk of ice at a time. The final frame wasn't a mystery, it was a snapshot of a god at work. These theories sound like fiction, but our own past may hold the clues that they're not. The day everything changes. Believe it or not, stories of strange things happening in the sky alongside comets are not new. They are literally carved in stone. You can go back thousands of years and find records from ancient civilizations that are eerily similar to what happened with Comet ATLAS. The thing is, our ancestors were obsessed with the sky. They tracked every star, every planet, and especially every comet. To them, comets were omens, messengers of chaos or change, but sometimes they saw something more. All over the world, from the American Southwest to the caves of Europe, we find ancient petroglyphs, rock carvings depicting celestial events, and many of them are weird. They show comets with strange geometric shapes flying alongside them. They show star people with helmets descending from fiery objects. The ancient Sumerians wrote of winged discs in the heavens, and the Egyptians chronicled fiery chariots. Were these just myths? Or were they eyewitness accounts of the same phenomena we are seeing today, recorded by people who didn't have the language of science to describe it? Maybe the object near Atlas wasn't a first-time visitor. Maybe it's part of a cycle, a recurring event that has been playing out in our skies for millennia. Now let's flash forward. Let's just say for a second that this object was what it looked like, an alien ship. What happens the day after that truth becomes undeniable? The world doesn't just change, it shatters and gets rebuilt into something completely new. Your entire understanding of reality, of history, of religion, of your place in the universe would be turned upside down. It's a moment that would unite all 7 billion of us, because suddenly our national squabbles would seem pretty small. We would no longer be Americans or Chinese or Russians. We would be Earthlings. But the outcome might not be so simple. The revelation could trigger a new Cold War, a frantic global race to understand and control this new technology. It could collapse world religions or create new ones overnight. The Fermi paradox, the question of where is everybody? Comma would be answered. They're not talking to us with radio waves because they don't need to. They are already here watching, waiting, and occasionally leaving behind a clue so shocking that not even NASA can hide it fast enough. The final frame of Comet ATLAS might not just be a picture of a dying comet, it might be the first frame of a brand new chapter in human history. Was it just a coincidence, or was the comet's demise not so natural after all? Beyond the blackout. So, we're left with two completely different stories. On one hand, NASA and the mainstream astronomical community tell us that Comet ATLAS simply fell apart. It was a fragile celestial body that couldn't handle the sun's heat, a disappointing but perfectly natural event. The strange glint in the final frame? They have explanations for that too. They say it was likely a glint from a known piece of space debris, a tumbling satellite catching the sun at just the right angle, or a high-energy particle from deep space hitting the camera sensor. Plausible, boring, and neat. But then there's the other story, the one that the data seems to scream. Let's talk directly here. Does a cosmic ray create a reflection that looks like polished metal? Does a tumbling piece of junk satellite create a spectral signature with spikes in the visible band and near-infrared, consistent with polished alloys? That's what some analysts claim the spectral data showed before it was scrubbed. The thing is, when something happens that doesn't fit the neat little boxes of our understanding, it's easier to dismiss it than to confront it. Could that object, that anomaly, have been something else entirely? Many people are crazy about the idea that it was a probe or something artificial sent to observe the comet. Or maybe, just maybe, it wasn't there to observe. Maybe it was the cause of the comet's destruction. Think about it, a comet potentially 10 miles wide heading into the inner solar system. If it were on a slightly different path, it could pose a threat. Is it so crazy to think that something might be out there protecting the solar system from potential impacts? This is where it all comes down to what you choose to believe. Do you trust the simple story, the one that requires no leaps of faith? Or do you look at the evidence, the impossible STR? What do you think was captured in that final frame? A glitch or a glimpse of something beyond our understanding? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more cosmic mysteries.